It's nighttime in New York. We're at the Grand Garden Arena for the Unlimited Class Wrestling Federation's Night of Fights event. As reigning UCWF champ Symbiote Smith cuts promos in the squared circle. The event goes as planned, as Symbiote Smith kayfabes his way to a match with top contender Gavin Gator Grant. Commentators Doc Sawbones and Crusher Hogan give us play-by-play, but it's cut short when Eddie Brock drops from the rafters, and he's not alone. Joined by Wild, Tyro, and Bedlam, who are basically split manifestations of Eddie's personas, the gang crashes the event and proceeds to wreak havoc on the sports entertainers.
And what are you supposed to be, pal? That shirt looks familiar.
I'm a symbiote.
Are you now? Come here! Ah!
Eddie and his gang of symbiotes aren't here for pantomime fighting either, as he and his gang straight up murder the stars of UCWF. Still, the show must go on, and the commentators of the event continue to cover what's happening in the middle of the squared circle. And when Eddie and his crew are done, he takes center stage and shoots it on a hot mic.
This ain't kayfabe, so clear out the rubberneckers, but keep the drone cameras rolling. I've got a message for the folks at home. This ring is ours now. It belongs to the Kings in Black, and you don't get it back until we get what we want. Two things. We want my son, and we want my other.
By other, Eddie refers to his original symbiote partner, Venom. Meanwhile, Venom has become a shadow of its usual self, going from the savage extraterrestrial goo with charisma into a depressed black puddle reminiscing about the hosts that it had over the years. The Venom symbiote fondly admits that Peter Parker was basically the one that got away, and in the end, it has chosen to seclude itself from other hosts to avoid destroying more lives than it already has. And the Venom symbiote has chosen to hide inside Peter Parker's closet to do that.
Because I destroy my hosts, I destroy those I love. So I am here, in the home of the one host who would never bond with me, who I would never bond with, hidden with the other empty suits, waiting for death.
But it seems the Venom symbiote spoke too soon, as Peter Parker accidentally grabs it from the closet, causing the two to fuse with each other. Somewhere within the sewers of New York, Dylan Brock, who is Eddie's part symbiote son, speaks to someone about preventing a cataclysm that he saw in a vision when Dylan met the godlike version of his father, called the Eventuality. And what he saw shook him to his core.
We are the Anti-All now, and we are Venom!
In this possible future, Eddie destroys everything. Dylan cries, desperate to find a way to stop the prophecy from happening. The person in front of him reassures him that they'll be able to do it, and it's revealed that it's a much older version of Dylan from the future. They part ways after that, as Dylan goes back to his base. He meets with his team made up of Toxin, another symbiote host, Normie Osborn, aka the Red Goblin, the rubber-like symbiote Flexo, and the symbiote cat Sleeper. They witness what Eddie's doing live on TV, and Toxin wonders if Dylan can take out his own father should push come to shove. Meanwhile, Alchemax's board, led by Liz Allen, meets to discuss stopping Eddie's rampage. Carlton Drake, CEO of the Life Foundation, sows discord by introducing Mr. Meridius, a villainous time-displaced version of Eddie Brock. Meridius introduces the final solution to the Eddie Brock problem.
This is Chemical K-44. I've improved on the original formula, added my own secret ingredient as it were, to make the ultimate weapon in the battle between human and symbiote. What's in this vial will win the Venom War.
Meanwhile, Spidey gives the Venom symbiote a pep talk, which ultimately leads the alien goo to act responsibly and deal with Eddie head-on.
Huh?
Dylan and his crew enter the Grand Garden Arena to face off with his dad. Eddie forces Dylan to give him back the Venom symbiote, but the boy chastises him for being a deadbeat. Before their argument can heat up, however, an unexpected guest arrives in the middle of the ring.
Don't you worry, guys. Venom's in good hands now.
Back at Alchemax, Meridius reveals that Chemical K-44 is made from the symbiote-bonded corpse of Lee Price, a former Venom host. Meridius was able to synthesize it and make it more controllable, dubbing it the Zombiote. Liz Allen remains unimpressed and unconvinced by Meridius's pitch to use the chemical. Suddenly, a security guard bursts in, announcing the escape of the zombiotes from the Alchemax lab. In response, Meridius grabs Carlton Drake by the collar and forces a mouthful of chemical K-44 into his mouth. Carlton turns into a zombiote and attacks the guard, who then gets infected. Seeing this, Liz Allen chooses to spring into action and reveal her big secret.
The contagion even spreads to the dead. Liz,
Way ahead of you, Dr. Steven. Let's see how these zombiotes respond to a dose of anti-venom.
Courtesy of misery.
Liz Allen is host to the half-anti-venom, half-carnage symbiote. She tries to attack Meridius, but he shoots her with a K-chemical concoction specifically designed to combat anti-venoms before punching her out of the building. With Liz out of the way, a man in a red suit walks up to Meridius. He knows who it is, and the man tells him that he's there to witness what Meridius plans on doing. In the Grand Garden Arena, Spider-Man is well aware that giving Eddie the Venom symbiote can be big trouble. So, he proposes a different solution to the problem.
Here's my idea. You're worried about Dylan getting the symbiote, Eddie, and he sure seems worried about you. So maybe the smart play is for me to keep him. A neutral third party. I'll rock the chains until you guys have worked things out.
But Eddie's not taking no for an answer. So, he fuses with Bedlam and starts fighting Spider-Man. The Venom symbiote allows Peter to dodge and weave through Bedlam's attacks until he and Peter find an opening to hit Eddie with a solid left hook. Meanwhile, Dylan and his crew watch all this unfold from the sidelines. Toxin thinks that letting his dad and Spider-Man duke it out by themselves is the best-case scenario. Sleeper mentions the only downside to Peter keeping the Venom symbiote is if Dylan wants it for himself. Spidey and Bedlam continue their tussle. Losing his patience, Eddie tosses the wall crawler to the side and decides to consume both Wild and Tyro, making him bigger and stronger.
They were weak. Now their mass makes us bigger, and their pain makes us stronger.
That's twisted, Eddie. Real twisted.
Spider-Man loses his patience after seeing this, so he kicks Bedlam in the face, and their fight escalates. Seeing this, Dylan finally decides to make a move.
hey, both of you, stand down or take it up with the Prince in Black!
While all this is happening, Meridius watches the sun rise from the Alchemax building along with his newly birthed zombiote minions and the man in the red suit. He finally asks this interloper the big question.
What do you want?
Oh, Meridius, what does any good Satan figure want?
The soul of Eddie Brock, gift-wrapped.
It's then revealed that the man in the red suit is none other than the mad symbiote supervillain Carnage, who has since dubbed himself the King of Hell. There's more to this Venom Wars storyline coming in a future video. But if you're interested in another Spider-Man story involving Peter Parker and the dark symbiote suit, check out the video on your screen and help us out by liking and subscribing to the channel. Take care.